Okay, YouTubers, got the station pretty much set up now. The ground is in. I'm going to step you through some stuff. Before I put the antennas up, I do have the one small antenna up there now, but I've been working getting the beam antenna up. Got it all ready to go. I wanted to show you guys the connections, because that's what you really need to know, is what the connections are, right? I mean, anybody can say, yeah, I got a beam up, and there you go. But so I'm going to step you through my stations now pretty much set up. I'm going to be upgrading here in about a month or so, month or two, getting rid of the mobile and adding in a base. Yaesu base. I've got some parts on order before I order the radio itself, so but that'll be another video. I rearranged some stuff so I can actually access stuff and show you guys. I'm going to just walk you through the whole connections of everything, and I'll show you the SDR connections too. You know, that is the controller for the capacitor motor there. Okay, so I can tune the antenna in case you're just watching this video. That works in coincidence with the SDR. So the two gray boxes are for the SDR, receive only, and then we got our VHF UHF station set up with the rotor controller. Now I wanted to fire that up and show you that it was actually working. There's the power supply. There's the mobile Icom 4180 radio. All right, get some light there for you. I just mounted it below there temporarily because that's going in the vehicle as soon as I get the base. But so you guys can see. Now what I did, I added some modifications to the power cord. It just didn't seem like I got enough wraps around this first one. Just 3 wraps. So I went ahead and got some more toroids and added more wraps to the power cord of the power supply. That's for the power supply. And then you can see the one in the back there. That's the power cord for the radio. Okay, so that comes from here, from that connection there, and just wraps around there and then goes into the radio. Okay, and now there's no grounds down here to the ground system over here. Okay, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But as it stands, because I'm on a different grounding system, I'm on an UFR grounding system, and that's done a little differently. So you need to actually look at your codes for where you live. So just that being said, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to show you some other stuff too. Here's our grounding straps. This one here is not connected yet. This one's going to be for the base. This one here is for the meter. Okay. So as of right now, and I wanted to show you guys something too. You can see I got toroids, okay, on the power cords for the that's for the SDR. But that is no problem to run your toroids in your ground right close. Any common mode that's going to come off that toroid will jump right over that ground. So that's not an issue. Okay. This is the power cord right here for the 12 volt coming out of this, okay, to power the motor over there on that antenna. Okay, so this is SDR stuff right here. This is actual grounding, 2 grounds coming in. They're not connected yet. I didn't want to connect them until I get the base and everything. And then show you the connections. We got power coming in to our meter. Okay. Power coming in from the power supply down below. It's get its own toroid. It's a smaller one, but it gets one. Okay. My station, this meter, does not like a toroid being on the coax. So there's no toroids on my coax at all, anywhere, for the VHF in UHF system. 2 meters, 70 centimeters. Okay, for all you guys. And then this is the antenna coming in right here. And get you a better view. This is the antenna coming in right here. Okay, and then this goes to the radio, down to the radio, down here, right there, back there. Okay, so that's one connection going up to your meter and to the inside of the meter there, and then that goes out to the antenna. Okay, now my meter has another connections over here for HF. Okay, so when I get the 6 meter antenna up, I'll show you that. Okay, so that's those connections. Now this meter, it can be grounded. I can ground it off the bolts on the side or whatever, but I'll step you through that later on. Okay, now the rotor controller, just so you guys can see, there's a toroid. You gotta put your toroids on or else you'll have noise. Okay, so that's all wrapped. Here's the cable. There's only 2 cables, the power cable and then the rotor cable control right there. Okay, that's it, and that goes outside. And then I'm going to show you over here what that goes to. I figured I'd show it to you this way. That way you can see all the connections. Of course, we got our external speaker in now. That helped. Got that speaker from down in there. You couldn't hardly hear. Brought it up here. It's nice. I didn't get the expensive one. This one's from Amazon, but it works. It's got the mute and a noise blanker. The noise blanker sucks. It just kind of mutes the volume down real low. But it does have the mute switch for just muting the audio. So it works. Does what you need. Gets the speaker up there. Okay. So we got our rotor. Okay. That's going to be up on the roof. Okay. We got to have our connection from the rotor. Okay. It's connected up. There's 3 wires in there. That's all I used was 3 conductor, in case you don't know. On the end of your wire there. This one has 4 conductors in it. I doubled up 2 of them and just used it like a it said on the instructions I could use the 4th wire. So I use 4 conductors, and what that means is there's 4 separate wires in there. You can get 8 conductor. There's 8 separate connections in there. Okay, so that's the length to come down from the roof to the lightning rod. Okay, we're going from the roof top to the lightning rod. Same thing with the coax on the beam. This is the compact antenna 2 meter micro beam, and it has just a little circle of copper in behind it. You can see how it looks. These are the radios coming off of it for the base station connection. Okay, that's PVC pipe that it's mounted to, just painted. It came like that. I bought it like that. Here's the coax connection. Okay, make sure you put your sealer on there all the way around on the bottom, and then we seal our connection up. I use the really good shrink tube that has the glue inside of it to seal. So as long as that's sealed and there's no water can get in there. I may put some more silicone on there just to make sure that's all covered right there. Okay, and then this will go on top of the rotor. Okay, so then my coax connection comes down. Now what I did to, they don't supply a pole, so this is just PVC pipe. So what I had to do, I had to go to the hardware store and get this. They didn't have a dowel rod big enough, but this is closet to hang your clothes on in the closet. And it was just a hair undersize, but all I did was just got 2 bolts and stuck. And I'm gonna back out. I put that wooden dowel rod all the way up to up into here, so I could get a good solid piece through there. And then I went and took it all the way down. Now this is a fiberglass pole. This is not metal. This is fiberglass, and this is fiberglass. I painted it. And what I did was I joined them together right there. This one, the fiberglass is a little undersized of the PVC. Okay, so I just drilled a hole through with the dowel rod, or the closet hanger rod, or wooden dowel rod through there. Made a hole, put the bolt through. Same thing there. Put 2 up there and 2 down here through the fiberglass pole with some washers. Okay. Now it said in the instructions to put standoffs. Okay, that's where you stand something off and then run your coax through that. So I didn't want to do that. So what I did was use tie wraps. So I put a big tie wrap around the pole, and then I put another one that way, and then I looped another one around that way, and it just made a standoff to keep the coax off the edge of the pole. And so there's 3 tie wraps making up a standoff there. I can probably zoom in on one right about there. You can see the second one I added to this one. I wrapped that way, and then the other tie wrap wraps that way into that one, and it makes a nice little standoff to stand the coax off the pole. Okay, so now you can see how the antenna is going to look outside. This is pretty much done. I just need to add a little bit of sealer right there, and that's pretty much it. So that is a 2-meter micro beam. So, but that antenna does 70 centimeters too, and it still works omnidirectional. But if you point it, this is the front of the beam. So if I point it at something, that's the direction it goes. This is a reflector. That circle there is the reflector. So basically it's a dual band antenna that works as a beam on one band. It won't work. It won't work 440, but as a beam. But it still works omnidirectional on 70 centimeters for your 440 bands. So that's something that a lot of other beam antennas won't do. Okay, so just a reminder for you. That's why I'm putting it up. I can't wait to get it up, but it's going to take me a couple days to get it up. But that's pretty much the connections you got to use. You can see where the wire goes into the rotor right there. There was just 3 little standoffs in there that I used. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That way you can see what happens. So that end goes to the roof mounts, and then that end goes in that end to make it rotate. So there's your rotor, and like I said, you have to get your rotor controller hooked up too. I've got it all wired in. It's got its choke on it, and then that red wire is what goes outside, okay, to the lightning rod. This is what you need, okay. This is a shunt, basically. This attaches to the lightning rod, okay, and then you attach your cables. Let me see. I guess I should have laid that out for you. So you have your 4 wires coming out. You hook. This will do 8. These on the end just hold the plates in, so those don't count. So it'll do 8 wires. So with that being said, you hook. I'm only using 4, and so I'm only using 4 on this side or that side, either one. But that screws to your lightning rod, and then this sits out. Then it tells you to turn it upside down. And I've got some sealant stuff, antenna sealant stuff to put on that. And then I got lugs for strap. This is grounding strap, okay. And then we'll step you over to the show you the you can use. I wasn't allowed to use this to go outside. There's rules for. I had to contact an electrician, and he told me the rules that I wasn't allowed to use this. I have to use the big green wire, as you can see there. I have to use an actual wire that's got coating on it. But I can use that inside. You can buy this in a roll. It's a 10-foot roll. I think you can buy even longer than that if you need it. And then I bought lugs, so I could just I just pinch it down like such and shove it in the lug. Squash the hell out of it. Don't solder. Never solder anything that you ground, okay? And then this is our lightning arrestor. Okay, you guys all know what those are. If you don't, you better learn. This will keep the lightning from coming back into your coax, into your radio, and killing it. Okay, that goes on to also post up to the ground rod like such, like that one. It just bolts to it. Okay. Now I'm not going to show you the outside ground rod connections because basically it's nighttime. So and it's cold. So that goes to this. Now, if you guys really want to get spendy, instead of using jumper, and when you buy your jumpers, okay, these are from DX Engineering. Okay, these are military grade. This dang cable was $79, almost $100 for that cable, that one cable. I needed 2. This is the DX Engine 400 Max. That's all I use. I don't use it cheap coax. If you use cheap coax, you'll break your radios. You'll eventually have problems. Okay, now that goes on the lightning rod, and then this coax comes inside and connects to the back of the meter. Okay, right there on the HF side. I've already got the VHF side grounded outside. So that's the stuff for that one. Okay, this is for your rotor wire. Okay, that thing is for your rotor wire. Okay, the 4 conductor, 3 conductor, 8 conductor, whatever you're running. Okay, that comes down off the roof, connects to this, and then the other end is right there. It's connected to the rotor box, to the controller. And then those two, this end and that end, meet up outside at the ground rod with that right here. Okay, and that's how that works. That's how you keep the lightning from coming in on your onto your rotor controller. Okay, what this is a big shunt. A shunt is basically hooked to the ground side. Okay, and if anything, you can set the shunt for, you buy a different shunt size for how much voltage comes through the ground. If it starts to spike the voltage where it comes up, the shunt shunts it off to the ground. That's why they call it a shunt. Okay, now you're gonna need some RG8X. This is good stuff. It's all copper, really good stuff. We got it on eBay or on Amazon, believe it or not, but I bought it from an American dealer, not a Chinese dealer, and it is all copper. I cut it. What I bought was a 6-foot jumper, and like such, like that. Okay, and I'll show you the company I got it off of. Spin it around. Right there, Extreme Consumer Products. Okay, this is an 18-foot jumper, but I bought a 6-foot jumper just to cut it. Okay, because I need to make my common mode choke. Okay, this is a common mode choke wrapped like a 1-to-1 ballon. Okay, instead of it going all around in circles like this one does. Okay, this one has 4 wraps. Then it crosses over, and then it wraps 4 more times. So inside that, there's a crossover. Okay, and the difference between a 1-to-1 and just a regular common mode choke like this is just the way it's wrapped. Okay, so I'm gonna try them both on the 6-meter antenna. Okay. The 6-meter antenna is over here. It's right there. Okay, and it's gonna screw in right there to that. Okay, and then that antenna is going to mount right down in there, right about that high off the rotor. So I'll have a 6-meter dipole on a rotor. Along with the 2-meter dual band, so it covers all your tech. That basically that system right there covers your tech license. You can talk 6-meter. They do have some access on 10, I think, but that's a big antenna and it's not out of my range from where I live. So. But that's how that's going to work. So this is for the 6-meter antenna. I'm going to try this 1-to-1 and see if it messes it up. And then if it does, I'll go to this one, the common mode choke, just the regular wraps, no crossover in between. Okay. And then there's the grounding stuff. Okay. So let's step over here. Get our flashlight. Pull this up for you. So here's our grounding system. Okay, those are the 2 grounds going into the meter and the base station eventually. Okay, and they're just attached with screws to. This is a copper 1.5-inch pipe. Okay, you can flatten it or just leave it round. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the RF runs on the outside of it. So then I got this is the connection coming inside. Sorry, my light's messing up. But that's coming in from the ground rod outside. And then you can see I just used some insulators right there to insulate that from the stand it off. And then there's another ground strap going up to the mag loop antenna, right into the bottom of the switch, right there. There you go. That's how that works. Okay. So you got your one place to ground from. Okay. Right there. And you don't run them together. Each ground gets its own connection run to it. So as you can see, I didn't run them together. It's got its own and you don't want them real close. You know, you want to try to stand them off from each other. So if you put another one in, put one in down here. Don't go right up next to that one. Go down here somewhere. See what I mean? Keep your connections off range. Now, I wasn't allowed to use this stuff to go outside. There's a rule against that here, so I can't do that. I had to use the regular green ground wire. Okay. So there's the grounding. How you should set your ground up on your shack. Okay. Put that there. That's pretty much it for that. Now, on the back side, not much. It's just cables coming out. Okay, so other than that, guys, that's how my system's set up. It's probably how you should set yours up too. I wanted to show you the chokes on the back of the SDR, so you don't think that everything gets a choke. The SDR don't mind it on the coax, but that meter right there sure freaks out, man. If you put a choke on any of the coax, that meter freaks out big time. So I don't know what the deal is with that. So that's pretty much my system, guys, right there, and the connections. You know, the rotor control is probably new for a lot of you guys, but that just plugs in down here to the battery backup power supply by trip light. Now mine has a ground, this has a ground shunt in it, so that's why I kept onto it. It's older. Okay, let me turn this around. There's our two chokes for the power supply, and then we've got our ground wire going up, power supply wire going up, and I got a choke on the back of this power wire right there I showed you guys earlier. So now if you don't have one of these, you can just plug into a power strip or plug into the wall. It'll be fine. I use this because it's extra protection. That's pretty much it. But that's my system, guys. There's the power supply, running the meter and the radio off that same Lex. And when I get the base station in, I'll have the rotor up and working, and we'll make another video from there. So just wanted y'all to see that, so you can see my setup and how I'm running it. There you go. Well, hope everybody has a happy holidays, and 73 to you, and I'll get back with you in the next video. Take care.